Alright, guys. Today I was scrolling through my YouTube and I saw this video about when people try to hook up at movie theaters by Joe Bartolozzi. Shout out Joe. Love his content, by the way. Funny ass creator. I think I first saw him on TikTok. I feel like that's the same for a lot of people. He was one of the few TikTok creators to actually be able to make a successful transition to YouTube. But I feel like I had to make a video out of this because I used to work at a movie theater, so I can probably relate to this video.
Keep.
I watched Mickey 17 in theaters on.
Isn't that a war movie or something? I
Never
think
heard
that
of
one did well, right? I don't know if that one did well. I think that might have been a flop. It has the dude from Twilight. Mickey 17. Sci-fi adventure. Mickey 17 box office. I feel like all movies are flopping now. Film had positive reviews, box office bomb, only grossing 130 million worldwide. See, that blows, dude. The amount of movies that spend just to make a movie and then it do terrible.
Friday. So today's, you don't care, but today's Wednesday. So like five days ago. I thought the movie was. I didn't like it. I don't like movies that.
Have you guys ever walked out of a movie theater because the movie was so bad? I've seen people say that they've done that, and I've watched really.
I think it was Morbius that I saw this happen. Dude, day one of Morbius releasing at my theater, and so many people would just walk out within like 30 minutes of the movie. Like, the movie sucked ass. So much ass. It was terrible. And I love how the fan base trolled the creators into making them put it back into theaters. That was my favorite. I walked into work one day. I'm like, why the fuck is Morbius back?
Bad films in theaters and never left. Like, if I'm paying to go see that movie, I'm locked into the end. It's not like when you're at your house. Like, there's probably been more movies that I've started watching that I haven't finished than movies that I've watched all the way through. But that's like when I'm like at home just watching a movie and 20 minutes in, I'm like, this sucks. But if I was at a theater watching it, I would stay.
Do that. The first half was good. There were political messages in there. I love movies with a good hidden deeper meaning. And the premise of the movie was this guy Mickey signed up to be, I forgot the word they used, but basically volunteering for him to be used as a test subject under the qualification that they upload his brain to a database, and every time he dies, they make a new version of him that remembers.
What?
And every time he dies, they make a new version of him that remembers everything up until the point he died.
Bro, that kind of sounds badass though. That sounds like a good movie.
Interacts with this weird snow monster, and it's like a bug. And they presume that he's gonna die. And they're like, okay, we'll just leave you here. You're gonna die anyways. We'll print a new version of you.
I'm not paying attention. I need you to explain this.
And they're like, okay, we'll just leave. And it's like a bug. And they presume that he's gonna die. And they're like, okay, we'll just leave you here. You're gonna die anyways. We'll print a new version of you. He doesn't. The snow monster's actually nice and brings him out of the hole and saves him. But they've already.
All right, that sounds terrible. No, never mind. That sounds really bad. Is it? What do you mean, snow monster? Is this becoming like there's like a fucking like a Pokemon or some shit that he encounters that he has to fucking interact with?
Already printed a Mickey 18, so now there's a Mickey 17 and a Mickey 18, and the president. Or the former senator, Mark Ruffalo, really doesn't like multiples, as he calls them. This is the point in the movie where I stopped liking it, because Mickey 17 goes to his girlfriend's place, and she's with Mickey 18 and high on that universe's equivalent of methamphetamine.
What is he talking about right now? I thought Mickey 17, when he originally described it, would be like a movie about a soldier that gets respawned all the time and like the horrors that he has to witness. Now we're talking about like two versions of it existing with a snow monster, and one of them's fucking his girlfriend and also high on like space crack. What?
Now I'm sad because she's into drugs, and also mad at Mickey 18 because he's a D-bag, and Mickey 17 is heartbroken. And then it turns into a two-way sex scene with Mickey 17 and 18.
Brady, you said this was a good film? What? What? That doesn't even have to do. We haven't even gotten to the main part of the fucking story
Please
here.
get to the
The
main part of
girlfriend
the
in
story.
the middle. It's not good, and it's really weird, and it made me really uncomfortable. But I guess there were two kids behind me who were really into that.
No!
And that's where this story begins. I'm sitting here. The movie's about to begin. I see these two kids walk in, a guy who looks about 15, a girl who looks about 16, and they sit in the way back. And immediately I'm like, okay, I hope they don't do anything because they're kids and they're sitting in the back of a movie theater, and that.
They're always doing something. If you see kids sitting in the back of a movie theater by themselves, they are always doing something. It may not be a lot of action. They're always doing something though. It's fucking annoying. Stop laughing. I'm making a YouTube video. They're always doing something. And I'm the one that had to clean up the aftermath. So many fucking condoms, dude.
Of a movie that most people aren't going to see. It was literally me, my stepdad, those two kids, and three other dudes.
Oh my
think there was a
god,
gay
dude,
couple.
going into an empty movie theater is so bad when it's like not like a Marvel movie or something like that. Any awkward film or comedy film where you're like the only people in that movie theater sucks. It's so weird. You would think it would be better than having a packed theater,
I don't mind it.
but being in a packed theater is usually better than like you pulling up and there just being like three guys just in another far corner of the theater.
Couple, and then
I'm gonna have to disagree. I like being in theaters by myself.
some random guy, and that was it. We get to the point past the sex scene in the movie, and I start hearing weird noises coming from behind me.
Oh my god!
And immediately I'm thinking, I really hope these kids aren't doing anything weird.
You know, I'm sorry to keep pausing the video. This happened to me while I was seeing a movie too. I was still working there, and I don't know if I was after work that I did it, so I was still in my uniform, or if like I went in with my mom one day. I don't. Regardless, my mom was there with me, and we were sitting there, and like 2 rows behind us, I heard the kids fooling around, like giggling and stuff. I look back, they look suspicious, so I go out to my coworkers. I'm like, yo, I think these kids are fucking, and like behind the seat and stuff, cause like they're sitting on top of each other, and it's weird. I need y'all to do something about it. They didn't do shit. My coworkers left me in there to suffer, having to listen to these eldritch horror sounds they're making. It sucked. And they came in there, talked to the person, like 5 minutes later they were still doing it. They went right back to doing it. Fucking finger banging this girl or something, dude. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. I'm trying to enjoy Pixar movie. I don't know, maybe it was like Big the Red, or it was a Pixar movie though. Might have been the Buzz Lightyear one.
Because that would be weird. Because that would be weird, and no one would like them because they're weird. The noises just keep getting, like, the movie goes quiet and they don't.
Dude, I've never heard of somebody doing this. I thought that was like a fucking like a movie trope that like people like try to hook up like that in a
I haven't
movie
heard
theater.
one of those yet.
That I feel like that's some shit out of like the 90s.
And then you hear one of them go, shh, shh. I'm not stupid. No one else in the theater's reacting, by the way. Like, I'm the only one who notices. And I run through the options in my head. I'm thinking, A, I can do something.
Say something. I would just leave the theater. Bro. He already said he didn't like the movie. Like, if he was enjoying the movie, I would think about like getting them to stop and like leave. But if I also didn't like the theater, then I would leave.
Like, turn around and look at them?
That's not like I wouldn't say that's rat shit. I would say that's just you're ruining the movie theater experience.
Never turn around and look at them. They won't stop. They don't stop. They don't care that you're watching them. They want you to watch them. That's why they're doing it there. Yeah, don't do that. Just go get an employee. The employee will kick them out. Well, the employee will usually tell them to stop first, and if they keep doing it, they will kick them out. Never look at them though. Don't look them in the eyes. They go faster.
Bro, making noises in the back, bro. That's throw the dead possum. Oh my god, I bring out the dead possum for that. It's always just the pocket possum for emergency scenarios. I just hear them like fucking groaning in the back. You just go whoop, just throw a dead possum right on top of them. Dude, that would be like just shock.
Feel real awkward.
Just pure shock.
Or go back there and sit right in front of them, start taking selfies and asking them how the movie is going or how they like the movie.
Please don't do that.
I felt like that was a bit much.
That might be child
weird.
porn.
It would have been hilarious, but I don't
If he just got up and sat right next to them, oh my god.
want to do that.
Then they would leave the theater.
B, I can sit here and
I know a person that did get up and sit right next to them. They did not leave the theater. They stopped doing it, but they didn't leave the theater because they don't have shame. I'm telling you, these kids do not care these days.
I can put up with these teenagers bull and just
sit through the rest of the film? Why
No.
is that the other option?
I couldn't.
I feel like the only option is leaving the theater. You're going to sit through the rest of the fucking movie, and they're going to just do it the whole movie.
power through the rest of this ass movie. Or
the movie's 2.5 hours, by the way. No. Oh my
wait
god.
until I heard
It's not like an hour and a half.
a sound that was undeniably them doing the hanky-panky in the back of a movie theater.
Hanky-panky
And
screaming.
then tell someone and then get them busted. And I went for the third option. It only took about 10 minutes. They've already been doing this for, I presume, 10, 15 minutes. It only took another 10 to 15 minutes for it to happen again, which isn't that long in hindsight, but when you're sitting there in the movie theater, the movie's so boring, and
Oh,
that's
it feels like an hour.
all you can hear. It's quite a long time. I didn't want to get up and yell at them, like to tell on them, unless I knew that they were doing that, because that would have been really embarrassing. That would have been weird. Like, these two kids, what if they're just like on their phone scrolling Instagram reels and they're just talking really loud? The movie goes quiet, and the girl, unfortunately, does not go quiet. And so I get up. I'm looking at this guy, and I'm trying to make out any silhouette I can to figure out what they could possibly be doing. And I see them awkwardly close, and his hand is over her mouth. I walk around the corner to the old guy who owns the place. He's like, hello. I said, hey, I don't mean to be awkward, but I'm pretty sure there's two kids doing the hanky-panky in the back of your movie theater.
Stop saying that.
And he says, let me get my flashlight. And
No! Oh my god, he's gonna shine it on them?
catch them in the act. He comes in. He turns the corner. He flips this flashlight on. There's just like a spotlight on both of their faces, and it looks like they got caught with like blood on their hands and a knife in their hands, like they just got caught murdering someone. The look on their faces is forever like burnt into the back of my mind because of how hilarious they were.
I wish I did that. Nah, I was too scared. I didn't want to see that stuff. So, dude got a flashlight and shined it on him like a spotlight. Nah, because usually whenever people do that, it was in like a crowded theater, too, which is also equally crazy. But like, I didn't want to shine it on other people. I was like, I'd be mean and whatnot. So, yeah, I, I always enjoyed kicking people out of the theater because I'm a hater. I'm a hater. I just like people's happiness totally. I'm a D1 hater. It would always just I like kicking people out of the theater, especially couples that were like just being a nuisance, doing the hanky panky as this guy would say. I prefer the word fucking, because that's what they were doing the deed, having sex, fooling around. These kids don't know their manners. Get them the fuck out of here. Get them out of here. So always go find someone. Hell, if you go to a movie and someone's doing that, comment under this video. I'll find them for you, and I'll take care of it. Okay? I'll make sure they never do it again.
They looked devastated and so embarrassed. And the guy goes,
But they didn't think people heard them?
"What you doing?" Of course, they're like, "Nothing, just watching the movie here." And he's like, "Okay." And he sits next to them, like 2 seats over,
For the rest of the film?
for the rest of the film. So the film's about to end, and you can tell because it's getting to the climax, and it's no longer like, I'm no longer impatient. Like, I know I'm getting out of there soon. And I'm thinking to myself, I want to get out of this movie theater.
Why didn't you just leave? You had the option, bro. Tell him why is he... Now he's just sitting into this fucking... Now he's just sitting in this fucking... What do you mean pre-watch? Now he's just sitting here just for the story. For the fucking lore. Like, this was even funnier. I know, but I'm saying I would just dip.
As soon as possible so I can see them walk through and see if I know them. And if I do know them, I'm a senior in high school, so I can make fun of them. They come out, I do not know them. And I see these 2 men talking, and one of the men has a beard, and the other man is the old guy who owns the place. And I hear the guy with the beard go, "I'm just here to pick up my daughter." And then the owner says, "Is she with a guy?" I then see the owner lean over to the father and whisper something in his ear before his face goes like flat, like he's pissed off. You see the 2 kids walk out with him.
Oh my god.
Get in their white Jeep, and then the dad like peels out of that parking spot.
Oh, like the fucking tires screech like that. And then it fucking zooms off. Probably pissed.
Because he is so pissed off. I was checking the news the next day for possible murders in my area because I don't know what I would do if I was in that boy's situation. You just hanky-pankied. I don't know what I would do if I was in the...
I don't even think that dad would be as mad that they were doing stuff, but more that they were trying to hook up in public, in front of other people, in a movie
I would be more mad
theater.
about that.
Dad's situation, like, you just hanky-pankied my daughter in public. And my daughter was in on it. Anyway, that's my story. I'm really hungry. I'm gonna go eat. But thank you for watching.
Wow, dude. That was a crazy story.
I feel like this quote right here was a good spot to finish the video off. If you also worked in a theater, comment which one you worked at. Maybe we've seen each other. Comment if you've seen me before.